So hi everyone, my name is Victoria and I'm the CEO and founder of Relievables, and we enable organisations like CBC City to improve their social and environmental impact through our responsible business management platform. So this evening I would love to highlight the ways in which the Relievables platform may assist CBC City to first improve their waste-related efficiencies, data processes and overall impact, driving greater outcomes for the residents of the Canterbury Bankstown LGA. I'd love to highlight 5 problems that CBC City are currently seeking to address around waste specifically that Relievables can help solve. Firstly, the current data collection processes are manual and labour intensive. This drives up costs, it creates a significant time lag in data, making it harder to resolve customer service requests quickly. Secondly, there are large gaps in the data that's collected, which creates further efficiencies and risks in making strategic decisions. Thirdly, there is a lack of interconnected systems and data, with barriers in access for the vast majority of the staff. This creates a lack of communication, possible duplication in work, inefficiencies in resolving issues, and poor service outcomes, not to mention the lost opportunity to analyse and innovate collaboratively, putting them on the front foot. And fourthly, this all results in a lack of effective measurement, management, and proactive analysis. Finally, there's not an effective way to report behavioural change and impact and easily communicate this to the community. These problems are all very common and are many of the reasons why we created Relievables. The Relievables platform is a simple, user-friendly, and integrated way for organisations to collect, track, manage and report their impact from the one location. The Relievables platform would address these CBC problems in 3 main ways. The first one is collecting and consolidating data in real time. They are able to capture data through a customised integrated interface. It's also possible for third-party providers to submit data in the same way to improve the consistency of their provision and therefore their accuracy. Data gaps then become much easier to spot and identify required actions in a timely manner. And finally, real-time data is now available and can be easily analysed through the automated reporting system. Secondly, CBC City can effectively manage their impact across the organisation. They are able to track and manage actions, data and metrics in the one location, with user-level permissions enabling all relevant staff access. There's also a knowledge base option for training, communication, and templates for staff and third parties where required. And thirdly, CBC City can easily measure and communicate their outcomes and impact. They are able to manage and monitor performance via custom dashboards. They can create customized reporting from the data that is already aggregated within the platform. And finally, they are able to consistently communicate accurate and real-time impact with internal and external stakeholders. So for CBC City, there are 4 key benefits: an increase in operational efficiency and accuracy, a reduction in operational costs, an improvement in customer service and engagement with residents, and increased confidence in strategic decisions and overall performance. We launched Relievables in 2020 and currently have 62 customers ranging from SMEs to multinationals with complex data challenges. We also span across the UK and US as well as Australia. We were the winner of the University of Sydney Genesis Startup Program this year and a national finalist in the Entrepreneurship World Cup this year. And we are also a pending B Corp, a member of 1% for the Planet and the United Nations Global Compact. My experience includes delivering technology solutions for global companies such as eBay, DHL, FedEx, 7-Eleven and BP, in addition to having over 10 years experience in the social impact and sustainability space, as well as 5 years local government experience at City of Parramatta, Willoughby Council and previously partnering with City of Sydney, Ku-ring-gai and North Sydney councils. Thank you very much to CBC City and Blue Chili for the opportunity to pitch today. Thank you all and have a great night.
Thanks, Victoria. I've got a little bit of imposter syndrome just watching that pitch. You've got amazing experience. Judges, I'd love to hear your comments. Any questions, Victoria?
Yes. Hi, Victoria. Really well done. Thank you for your pitch. Super interesting. I just have some questions because, yeah, we have the problems, we have the way that you're going to solve those problems, but the only one that was clear for me was the third one, like that you have some sort of customized reporting sort of templates, but I don't really know how you're going to collect the data that they are needing at the moment, and how you're going to measure the impact across the organization with your tool, and how much does this cost, and how long will that take to be implemented? Sorry, I know a lot of questions.
That's okay. So in terms of what they can do, it's an integrative platform. It's partnership led. So the way that we work is that we work through plugins. So you can upload your data, you can integrate via APIs. So there's some key platforms that data is being used specifically from councils, but also businesses that you can integrate data with. So it's all about uploading data into our platform. And then once it's all aggregated, like with the one house for that data, then you can start making some really good decisions based on seeing where the gaps are. Because then you can also work out what actions need to be taken. You can allocate out those tasks to anyone across the organisation, as well as third parties if you would like. So there's a lot of third parties that CBC City work with. And I think a lot of the challenge is receiving that data from them in a timely manner so they can integrate all of that data. And then the reporting basically comes from, they can set metrics in their own benchmarks, or they can align to best practice benchmarks, which we already have within the system as well. It depends what their case study is, but it would probably be a hybrid of both of those. In terms of how much it costs, it really depends on whether you want all of the different features. It's a customized pricing model. For a business who wants out of the box solution, it's anywhere from a couple of $100s to a couple of $1,000, but it really depends from a local council perspective, how they want to customize it. And there's a lot of unique features in there that are not out of the box. And so in terms of developing that, it would really mean what that would look like into working with the technology team and what their limitations are. So we're quite agile on our side, but it would just depend on what their roadmap is and what their requirements are from a technical specification point of view.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Victoria. Have you given any thought to a challenge I think a lot of councils have in terms of their customer data and having that single source of truth of their customer and all of the relationships they potentially have with council? It's all good and well to go and put all our data there, but what does that actually mean? How am I going to contact them? What number, depending on the service that they interact with us?
Yeah, it's to be honest, not completely a core part of us, but there is one feature that we have in our platform that would be useful in that use case, and it would be the directory. So we would be able to probably customize the directory so that then you can start getting communications to and from customers. And the value of that is that you can look at the customers' messages alongside the impact that you're having in the reporting. So our whole approach is to have as much data talking to each other as possible so that you can make the best decisions that you can on a proactive basis. So that would definitely be possible, within the scope.
We have time for one more.
I've got one. So who uses the data? Is it the business owner, or is it the people on the floor?
So the data is owned by the user. So it would be owned by CBC City, and they use that data within their own platform, and it's completely secure and with their own within their own account. Yeah. Right.
So yeah. So I guess so if the council's using it, is it just the people who are? I guess what I'm getting to is it is it just? I don't even know how to ask this question properly. Because ideally you want to be pushing this data into the people who are able to use it like many times all the time. right? You know, and so is it just being used by like the executive who are getting the aggregated data and then making big strategic decisions on behalf of the organization? Or is it just like everybody across the organization is getting constantly little nudges because all this data is being fed up and then analyzed in interesting ways and then spitting back down and saying, hey, David, you know, you should be doing this because, you know, Relievables is telling us so. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So yeah, to answer to your question, it's definitely everyone across the organization. I think some of the current limitations are that it is only the executives. And so the implementers aren't actually able to get that data in a timely manner to resolve the request. So there's user level permissions, and the way that you can receive data, share data, and customize reports is equivalent to what user level you are. So as an operator, you would receive the information. So say you've got 5 tasks to do in terms of closing out customer requests, you would receive that only. An executive would have a much more bird's eye view of what's happening at top level metrics. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Cool.